Hey yo, I am in Valencia, Spain right now. It's a family trip. I got my kids with me. They are currently wreaking havoc on this whole plaza. We're in the Plaza de Ayuntamiento, which is like a pretty popular pedestrian area. Basically the central square. We've got shops, little spots to eat and hang out. Being in Spain makes me feel more like being out and about where the people are, even if we don't have a specific activity or anything planned. The last time I was traveling in Spain, I was 16, and so at that age I was still traveling with my family, going to visit other family members, but I remember getting a pretty good taste of like the Spanish pace of life and loving it. We were in a different part. We were in the south of Spain. It was the summer. I remember those afternoons just like sitting in the shade, drinking Coke and lemon, the simplest thing that they do that somehow goes together really well. And I was just like, those days felt so long in a good way. It was like time was not running away from you here the way it seems to many other places, especially back home. Of course, that was like half my life ago already, which is wild to think about. But yeah, that really made an impression on me when I was here for the first time, here last time. And now I'm back. We're here for a week, and I plan on moving so slow that it feels like 2 or 3. This is Spain after all, and this is a great place to travel in my favorite sort of way, not planning too much, and seeing what happens. Plus, I'm with good company, my family.
Just standing with you.
It took a lot of travel to get here. 3 days, 5 airplanes with 3 kids, 3 really young kids. But we made it. They're harassing pigeons in a park, and it's siesta hour, and I'm outside getting some good air. All feels good. Hey Reese, careful, there's a bike coming. I've come to Spain knowing that there's something I want to reconnect with. The Spanish mastery of going slow and doing nothing. In Spain, the days go slower. They feel expansive, like there's always going to be enough room. And these days, my life back home is busy. Real busy. And it moves fast. All that goes hand in hand with having 3 kids. But they're actually my biggest reasons for wanting time to go by as slowly as possible. I know how this thing goes. If you're not careful, it's blink and you miss it. So I've come to relearn the art of slow, siesta, and spending time with each other. So one of the things that makes travel with the family and all the kids a little bit more difficult at everyone's age right now is we're still at the point where everyone needs naps, or at least the younger 2 still usually take a nap every day. I know of some travelers who go places with their kids who say you should just cut out the naps because that makes you more flexible and stuff, but look, especially in my day-to-day life, that nap block is when I can get stuff done. So while it might make some travel days easier, I don't know if I'm ready or willing to give that up permanently as of right now. So if you do have to plan a trip around nap times, this is probably the best place to do it. Spain, everyone plans their days around nap time. The last time we went abroad with everybody, they had just turned 1, 1, and 3, and so now my younger kids are the exact same age as my older one when we went on our first bigger trip as a family of 5. And so for the most part, it's gotten easier. There's some things that are more challenging, more opinions, but I really do think that each trip pays off in the form of the easier ones, the ones that come later being easier by comparison. We rented a house in the Malvarosa neighborhood, and I couldn't be happier with this location. It was easy for me to go on a run in the morning, we were only a few blocks away from the beach, and public transit was real easy to access. The supermarket was only a short walk, and just below us, we had a playground. Val, how can you not be in Iberia without getting jamón ibérico? I stocked up on groceries knowing that we'd want to do a blend of having meals at home and stuff for the kids, along with some food adventures outside. After all, how can you do Spain without doing some churros? Look, we got 4 types of chocolate, yeah? And careful, it's still warm. Here, rip off a piece. It's still warm, you can feel it, yeah? And then you just dip it in the one you want to try. So let's say I want to try this one. It's like a cold drinking cup.
Daddy, what about this one?
Oh, that's a little bit too much. Put it in your mouth now. This one.
I'm sad about that jacket. We just cleaned it. And we know how hard it is to clean stuff in this country.
But this was not the only spot I had in mind. The Mercat Colón had plenty of options, and we managed to find a spot where everyone could get themselves a decent breakfast. Alright, so you got olives, wine, ham all over the place. Spain's got a lot of epic food items. While we were in here, a must-do for me was getting an horchata from Horchata Daniel. We managed to finish off a whole cup of Valencia horchata, and it's quite different than the horchata I'm used to. There's a more sour flavor to it. I wonder if it's got like a cultured yogurt thing going on.
Wait, watch it.
Here. La carnicada.
Gangster.
While Mexico has popularized horchata, its origins can be traced here, to Valencia. Here it was made from a nut milk rather than rice, and at Horchata Daniel, you can get a nice tall glass served alongside some ladyfingers. Now, if there's a must-see item in Valencia while visiting, it's this one. So one of the most impressive parts of Valencia is this. La Ciudad de Artes y Ciencias, City of Arts and Sciences, and that's actually a pretty fitting name. Calling it a museum is an understatement. It's more like a museum of museums. There's at least 4 main parts. There's a zoo, an aquarium, a planetarium, and just a general science museum. But that description isn't doing it justice. I think they're doing like a Pixar or a Marvel exhibit right now. Can't wait to check it out. So one of the big draws to Valencia was this place, and knowing that the kids would have a great time like exploring and stuff. But I think even if I was just on my own, I would definitely want to come by here. This is a cool complex. You know it's a good museum when we haven't even entered the ticketed area yet, and we've already seen so much. This is all just in like the lobby or the entrance. There were a lot of hands-on exhibits.
Sissy, look at me. Jenna.
Jupiter.
Cheese. Cheek.
We got to watch some newly hatched chicks. And we even thrilled the kids by eating at a cafe with robot waiters.
It's telling me cuidado, animals ran me over.
Today we decided to visit the Oceanográfico. We ended up spending the bulk of our time at the aquarium here.
Oh no! Daddy, look at the ocean!
So I had originally planned for us to take this day trip to the city of Jativa. It's like a 30-minute train ride outside of Valencia, pretty easy to get to, but we've been kind of putting the kids through a lot, having them bop here or there, and so, I think I'm gonna nix that in favor of just some days where we can go at half speed. Instead, we got pastries and sat at a park. I've been very conscious that this is probably our last trip as a family of 5 with kids in the baby years, I don't have anything planned for next year. After kind of the travel frenzy of this year, I wouldn't mind taking it a bit slower. Year after that, I have something in mind, but by that point, we'll be mostly north of 4, and that's a different ballgame. One thing I noticed about Valencia was there was no shortage of playgrounds. Pretty much every block seemed to have at least a small play structure, and they typically had a very generous amount of rocking horses. Whoever planned this city must have been like, I know kids, they love their rocking horses. But the most interesting playground of all happened to be the one themed after Gulliver's Travels. I'm not sure how acquainted playground-age kids are with Gulliver's Travels. I know Jack Black did that movie a couple of years ago to reintroduce it, but I feel like even today's playground-age kids are a bit too young for that version. This is one of the highlights of the park that we're in right now, Jardín de Turia. It is a pretty massive outdoor space, multiple sections, different gardens, different playgrounds, not just Gulliver. Scenic spots, a lot of bikers. A lot of Spanish cities have at least one main park that's impressively large and full of eccentric features, and Valencia is no exception. I'm also really glad we're here at a time of year that's not too hot, so we can enjoy stuff like this. Alright, I tried my hand at what I'm calling poser paella. I really just cooked up some rice and some instant paella seasoning packet. I also found this package of seafood salad at the grocery store for $3.50. So it's poser paella because all that stuff was a shortcut. Plus, classic paella is not usually made with seafood. It's supposed to be with meat. Rabbit is most classic. But now it was time for the real deal. This is the meal where Kai had his first animal protein, a snail, and it was right on the beach. For how inviting this beach was, it was delightfully uncrowded. Can't come all this way without getting my feet in the water. So I'm actually on this trip in the middle of my birthday week. I'm now entering the dead center of my mid-30s, and it feels like I just turned 30. But the past few years have been so full. I've had some big wins. Getting to see Reese, Kai, and Juniper going from being these squishy newborns to these kids who I can have interesting conversations with and take out on adventures like this. There's very little I would actually want to change about the past 3-4 years, and I've kind of been living them with a sense that there's a lot of good in my life right now. It's you gotta recognize you're in the good old days while you're still in them. That's kind of what I feel like I've been doing. Traveling with this crew is always going to be an experience, but our time in Valencia was about as laid back as it gets, which is saying something. I guess if there's anywhere up to the task, it's gotta be Spain.